What was the final straw for the breakup?
He wasn't in love with me. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tyquan, and you are my love ties, and we have a special guest in the building. And make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel.
Next question. What was the final straw for the breakup? The cause of the breakup. Final straw.
So I guess I could answer that. There were situations throughout the relationship of us dating that caused me to question if he really thought that we should be together. Like he said just now a little while ago, which is kind of a reason too, that he wasn't in love with me. I may not have been in love with him, but I had love for him, and I saw a future for us. He didn't feel that way. He had insecurities within himself that projected onto me. Oh well, I don't think, this is too real. This is like, why are you with me, kind of stuff. And it was a constant thing that bothered me. And he came up to New York one weekend, and that's when it ended. And that was the last straw. We had a conversation, and he brought up something. He had done something to make me think like, okay, well, is it like you don't trust me? I'm telling you.
What was that? Share, please.
He created another account, I believe, or a dummy account or something on Grindr or one of them
I would
apps.
say a dummy. I would say a dummy account.
Whatever the account was on Grindr.
I'll tell you what I did.
It was to the point where he was tracking me. Oh well, why would you put this on your profile and say this and say that when I thought we were together or we were building something? Now, mind you, the stuff that's on my profile has stayed on there from the entire time that we were together. What?
Keep going. I'm gonna let you talk. We're gonna let you talk, and then come on, Mr. Virgo Love. Go tell them. I'll make sure everybody sees where I'm coming from. But go ahead, Mr. Virgo. Go ahead.
Oh, so it's a me against you thing now.
No, it's not me against you thing. It don't sound like that. What it is it's two different sides of the stories that aren't aligning. That's what it sounds like.
No, because you told me that's what you did.
No, what I told you what I did was I didn't create a fake account. I told you I had a real account. At the time, 4 years ago, we all know what Grindr does, because Grindr, you can really track people. So for whatever reason, I was like, well, you know what? Let me put in his stats. Let me see if he really has a Grindr account. And obviously, Grindr's the white account. He wasn't on Jack. Well, he was on Jack, but that was too much work. So I was like, click black, check. Ethnicity, his height, range, check. His weight at the time, check. I just did enough to where it could kind of scope out different areas to where at the time they didn't have the little location device to say, fly me here and let me see who's in this area.
But you paid for it though.
But I know I always had Grindr extra.
I'm just saying, you paid for it.
I paid for you guys. I literally paid for it before I met him and still after I met him. I saw that he was on Grindr and he listed some things, and I'm like, oh, so this is where I stand. And he tried to make it sound like I'm crazy. This is the first guy I actually seriously dated, and was I insecure at the time? I don't even know if I was. I was at the time.
How do you not know if you were or not? You have to know if you were or not.
You don't at the moment. In that moment, you don't know if you were or if you weren't.
So right now, what do you think you were?
That moment, honestly, I wanted the attention. Like at one point,
from who?
From you. Like at one point, we started dating
was
to
I
where
not giving you that.
You backed away from it. That's what you really did. So it was like when we first started dating, it was like good morning text. It was like, hey, how are you? It was like, what's going on? Oh my gosh! And I told y'all earlier, it sounded like he was like real clingy. But in a way, I kind of did like that. I did like the clinginess. I like the fact that the attention that I never really got from guys before. And so then it kind of got me really scared. I was scared that, man, I could actually get used to something I'm uncomfortable with or not used to. And my outside circumstances were different. I lived with my parents at the time. I was focusing on me. surface. But continue.
So if you saw the last video, he did talk about how he broke up over a Lemonade song or some.
No, the Lemonade album.
I don't really recall all of that as far
I
as
remember.
the
My
song,
heart was breaking.
but I will say that I had my reasons. I told him the reasons. The honest to God truth breakdown or breakup situation, this last straw, was pretty much just like I wasn't comfortable with someone always questioning if I'm really with you for you. You know, so like if you're not comfortable with me doing a whole lot for you or me being with you in a way that you've never been with a guy before, like I wasn't ready to date somebody who had never had a boyfriend. I wasn't ready to date somebody who had never been with somebody seriously, or, you know, truth be told, you had came out of the closet or came out like in your late 20s versus me. I was 17.
But I mean, you're saying late 20s and 30s, like that's a like.
It's not a big deal, but it's
I'm just saying,
but it's
okay.
a different thing for me, for my life.
Okay,
So
but
that
at the
was
same
it.
time, maybe at my teens, I didn't realize I was gay.
And that's perfectly fine. You it's not your fault. It's nothing wrong with how you came out in your life. It has everything to do with how I felt. And if I was the one that said, hey, I can't do this, and these are the reasons why, then that's it. It wasn't me trying to hurt you or break your heart, nothing like that. It just wasn't the right time at that particular moment for me to go through that.
But my question for you is, how could you honestly say, it wasn't about me trying to break your heart? If somebody comes up, literally comes up, they didn't come down to you, you came up to them. Literally, I sat on the whole bus ride all the way back home on a freaking mega bus trying to figure out my life. I'm just looking at myself like, what did I do? We just had a great night the night before. We did our gay BBQs. I thought we had a great night. We took pictures, we had fun. And we were there to celebrate them. And then literally 15 hours later, he says, I don't think this is gonna work. I'm like, wow, how could something, because I was already skeptical. I was skeptical because I've never dated somebody before. And it wasn't like I don't even know if it was insecure, because I was insecure at the time. I was a lot bigger. Honestly, I said that, wow, this guy who at the time, you're like 180, 190.
No, it was like 2.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
Whatever it was.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Okay, so whatever that was, whatever, I was like, well, at the time I was about 270, 265, 270, and I'm like 5'6".
He never told me his weight, by the way, the entire time we were dating.
Yeah, because I was insecure about it. I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't. You know, I mean, now we cooling, but before that, I was insecure about that. So I honestly had a hard time, everybody, trying to understand why somebody who I thought was an amazing guy, very handsome, educated, outgoing, life of a party, was attracted to somebody like me at that time. And that was 4 years ago, and I've changed. And I know I'm a totally different person than who I was 4 years ago. I think that answers the question about the whole breakup after he broke my heart.
That was so fake.
Okay, next question. Did you guys remain friends immediately after the breakup, or did that take some time?
Fuck no.
Oh my God.
Fuck no. Fuck this bullshit. Like, I mean, like,
Let's be honest. He dissed me. He cursed me out from here to the moon. And then, and honestly,
Scorpio passion.
I'm not like gonna be upset about that, because usually when you are the one doing the breaking up, the other person is gonna be hurt and they're gonna be mad and things like that, and they're gonna need time to, you know, get over things and heal or whatever. So I never lashed back. I never said F you or nothing like that to try to antagonize him or make him feel like, okay, we can never ever be. I wanted him to heal and get better and everything. And we regrouped months after,
It wasn't months after.
It was months after.
No, it wasn't months after.
How long was that?
So let me tell y'all how this story went. Let me recap how this exactly went. So it was the week in July. It was the middle of July. Not July, excuse me. Middle of June. Middle of June, he breaks up after he graduates. By the way, I got the receipt of his graduation. I even made him a nice picture and put him on Facebook. So he ends things. I'm pissed. As I told you, I'm crying myself home. This is the first time I've ever had to experience this. I'm like, how does this motherfucker do this to me? And he was like, you know what, Eric? It's okay. Like, let's see how the summer goes. Maybe we might get back to a place. Maybe we might get back somewhere. Maybe we could, like, you don't know what the future will hold. Just the way he said it now. So, all of a sudden, I have my hopes. You don't know. Yeah, So, with that being said, I'm like, come on,
What's that supposed to mean? Keep on going. I'm sorry.
Thanks. Yeah, no interruptions. So, with that being said, I said, okay, I want to reach out to him every day. I want to make this shit fucking work. I messaged him, I talked to him, and I started falling for other guys too during the summer. But I'm like, you know what? I really thought there was something there. I thought there was something special. I'm thinking that we're going to get back together. He comes to me, mind you, this is now June, when we first broke up. In July, we're dating. He goes to Canada, has his little fun charades and all his other shenanigans. And I mean, I'm doing my shenanigans too because, you know, I like to have fun. I'm not the most committed type at the time. Working on that now as we grow. He comes to me, I think this is October. September to October. Around his birthday. Like, he's a Virgo, so, you know, whatever. It's a little after his birthday. He says, hey, Eric, I want to let you know, because I'm thinking we're working our way back together. I'm seeing somebody else. I am like, what the fucking fuck? Like, it made no sense to me that, like, you made it sound like this could possibly happen in the future. Not, this was your shy way of saying, it's never going to happen again, bitch. Your turn. Anything I missed?
Maybe the timeline might have been a little messy there, but for the most part, it's true.
That is very true.
I said for the most part. But we did have conversations, and it did take us some time to get back to a point where we can actually be cool like we are now.
A lot of forgiveness on my part.
So that kind of leads into my next question, which you kind of already answered. My next question is, has anyone had feelings for the other since the breakup? But you kind of answered that already.
That one has feelings for me. Because I'm amazing. Trust me. Do you not see? Eric is amazing.
You would not DM him because he belongs to me. Just
please. You come to see me. I don't. No. He has feelings for me because he be coming up here. He'd be like, "What if we did get back together?"
I said what I said.
Yeah, I belong to him. I don't belong to him. I don't belong to anybody, but I can't even get my parents' names out because clearly
you belong to Jesus.
I belong to Jesus. Hallelujah. That's what they would say. Cheers. I belong to Jesus. Thank the Lord.
I'm Jesus. Anyway, go ahead.
No. That was a legitimate question. So we're going to give some legitimate answers. He's like, he's into me. He asked years on after he realized that that marriage, divorce, sham, whatever, escapade.
Now that's below the belt. It's not a sham.
Okay, you can edit this out. It's all just TV. Anyway. Whatever that was. Okay, we can't say sham because it was a sham it wasn't a sham on your heart. It was a sham on his part. He realized that guy wasn't right, and he wanted me to come back and say, what if we could work things out because you're so different. You're so different now. What I saw in you then isn't there now anymore. And I'm like, nigga, are you serious? You basically came up after I gave my heart to you the first time. He leaves me, and then I come back, and he's like, we can still work this out. I'm good. We can be friends, and we're a good friendship. It's a great interaction.
I don't know if that's true what he just said just then, because I never came back to him saying, let's be together. Never did I do that.
Okay, how about this? Philly during New Year's.
I was
drunk.
I was not saying that to you.
Oh, you were drunk in your feelings. It's okay.
We were all drunk.
I wasn't drunk. I knew I was social enough to remember that shit. You're blushing because you can't admit that you liked me at the time. No, what they can see is that you're blushing right now. Look, you guys, His cheeks went from brown skin to red skin because he got him red. Because he's like, I can't believe he just called me out right now in front of my
But I
subscribers.
met somebody at the club in Philly.
Y'all, he was
made out.
I mean, that's after I was making out with somebody. You see me doing it. You
That
guys,
is not
you
true.
guys,
Oh
y'all are his love types. But yeah, he wants to love type me. Yes.
And he would accept it.
This leads us to our final question of the evening. What advice would you give to the other in terms of finding a mate?
Ooh. Who answers? Hold on, stop. Who gets the answer first?
I will have.
First.
I will have Tyquan answer first because your answer is going to be very long, as they all are.
I don't know how to answer this question because I don't want to give him no advice how to find somebody. I don't have time for it. I just don't.
That's because I told y'all he was still in love.
It's not even about that. We already had a disagreement
in
about me cock blocking. So
I'm sorry, Tyquan, you have to answer the question.
You have to.
I did. I would not give him advice. Period.
Okay.
Lord.
Eric?
Okay. So I'm not gonna give him advice because clearly he needs some because he's still single. But with that being said, here's the advice I would give to you.
But have more boyfriends than you. Anyway, keep going.
Either way, you also have a higher leavage rate. But anyway, or a number. I would say higher number of guys have left. But anyway, we're not gonna.
But your body count's higher than mine.
My body count's higher than yours, but yet you started way earlier in Miami, a city full of whores. Got you. So anyway, as I was saying before, excuse me. With that being said, my advice I would give to you. Number one, be able to let go a little bit and relinquish control. Smile. Okay, anyway, he's smiling, you guys. He's smiling. Look at Tyquan smile. Because he's going to love this afterwards.
His ass in a second. Anyway, go ahead.
Number two.
Minimum is going to be 1, maximum 3.
Okay, so, I guess I'm going to not have to use any commas. Anyway, so I would tell him to be able to allow that person to be them and to accept them for their differences and to be compromising in their differences and realizing that your way isn't always the only way. So number 3, my advice to you, don't be so head over heels to jump for somebody so quickly. You jump for them so quickly. It's like I can't even come up with the saying. It's like the deers in heat. It's like the freaking deers in heat. You know how the deer basically.
Did you compare me to a motherfucking deer? How dare you?
He's like a deer going after the little other deer, the male deer going after the other deer. He gets so caught up chasing them, he gets hit by a fucking car, boom, and then all of a sudden he dies. Because clearly you weren't looking at what was in the environment. So you need to look at what's surrounding the environment before you go after what you go after. And that's all I have to say.
I'm not a Bambi.
No, I know. You're going to be that deer meat on the side of the road that people like to scoop up and eat and like to tenderize you. Tenderoni. Those would be my 3 things I give to Tyquan.
Amen. Thank you all for watching, Love
Oh,
Ties.
my goodness.
I really appreciate you. Until next time, bye.